Over the past 4 years, the average person has spent 5 months of their life on social media. And my guess is it wasn't productive. Why do we struggle so much with this? And when I say we, I really mean us, because I know you're probably going through it, and I've been there, and I'm still not perfect. When I graduated high school in 2019, my life was awesome, frankly. I moved out to California for 3 months. I had an internship. Everything just made sense. I felt like life was in this flow, and nothing could stop me. I felt great. Even when me and my girlfriend at the time, who I was very much in love with, when we broke up, I was like, okay, so what? Look at how things are going right now. Like, everything is happening right now for a reason. I'm gonna be fine. And then I got home after that 3 months, and reality kind of fell on top of me. These awesome people I was spending my time with was again replaced by my family, who I'm not super socially involved with, so I was more or less just locked in my room the whole time. The epic flow of like working and creating in another city with all these cool people had went from this awesome energy into what felt like just complete stagnation, and it was horrible. And I realized the person I thought was my soulmate had moved on and was probably talking to other people, and I felt really alone. I felt kind of worthless, to be honest. And not only did I feel alone, I felt like I had just lived the greatest 3 months of my entire life, and then the rug got pulled out from under me, and life from this point on was just gonna be sad for all eternity. Not fun. My guess is if you identify with any of these emotions or situations, you're probably going through it right now to some degree. And guys, it gets better. And I can say that with confidence because my story got even worse and I still managed to pull myself out of it. After being consumed with the loneliness and the stagnation and the heartache for so long, I started to use procrastination as a means of coping with that. I started playing video games again. And I say again because I probably logged thousands of hours in my childhood, and I definitely logged a couple thousand more hours during this period of time. It honestly bothered me a lot in that moment. I was very cognizant of it, and I just wasn't sure what to do. Why did I become so useless? Why did I become so hopeless? Why couldn't I just live this life that I wanted to live and I was living before? Why couldn't I develop this awesome career that I was working on? Why did it all come to a halt? And it's not like I didn't want to. I wanted to build my video production business. I wanted to do well in college. I wanted to meet new people, but it was so much easier just first thing in the morning and for the rest of the day to hop on whatever game I was playing at the time. And fill in the blank for yourself. It could be mindlessly scrolling on your phone through an app of your choice, because they all have short form now, or it could be video games as well. I just know it's so devastating to want a future for yourself, yet feel completely useless in building it and pursuing it, and ultimately just falling back into whatever loop you were in before. And eventually I did break out of this. I started working with new clients. I started getting excited about my career again. I started building my business, but none of this came quick or easy. In fact, in that moment, while it was happening, it made no sense at all. But I think because time has passed, I'm able to look back at this with a bit more clarity and hopefully make something valuable for you. First things first, despite all the struggle I was going through and how much I was procrastinating, I was still putting in some kind of bare minimum for learning new things and developing myself. This, for me at the time, was literally watching YouTube. Like, it was that simple. I would just find YouTube channels that really inspired me, they intrigued me, they invited me to learn new things or develop new skills. And if they had a podcast, if they had a video, it didn't matter. If I found it insightful, I watched it at least once a day. For me at that time, as someone who works in the creative field, that inspiration was Chris Do from the future. So Chris, if you're seeing this, thank you. I guess if I had to summarize this point into one sentence, it's if you feel incapable of any kind of output, try to increase your meaningful, actionable input. Books, YouTube, podcasts, whatever it is, whatever's going to be easiest for you to consume, run with that. The second lesson is that your environment can determine your focus. One thing I found was whenever I traveled, I kind of forgot about video games entirely. I would just think to myself, oh yeah, I don't need this thing to be happy or just to live my day-to-day life. In fact, I'm perfectly fine without it. So much of my relationship with video games was physically attached to me being in my room. Travel was definitely a contributing factor in getting back on track for me, because I remember going out of state for a few days and waking up and going about my day and just thinking to myself like, wow, I can do this without video games. I don't actually need this thing in my life. I think when I go home, I'll just uninstall it and not even think about it like I am doing right now. And so I did. And I think that's what makes scrolling and social media so dangerous, is because we have our primary communication with the entire world, our families, our friends, people we love, mixed with every distraction imaginable in one device. And it's hard to run from. This is why I wish Instagram and YouTube would make short form optional, but of course they would never do that. If you need reminders to stop scrolling on Instagram or YouTube, I'm on both, so follow me as you see fit. I think the third and final lesson I want to share with you is you can only be so hard on yourself. Because just yelling at yourself that you're unhappy and that you want to make a change isn't enough to actually make it. It's pairing a great enough pain, great enough dissatisfaction with a clear direction of where you want to go that actually makes the change you're looking for. Sure, recognize that things really suck right now and you don't like where you're at. Feel the dissatisfaction, feel the discomfort. But at the same time, try to forgive yourself and create an environment where you can actually hold some curiosity and try to learn new things. I think when you pair that discomfort and desire for change with the freedom of learning and inspiration, you're unstoppable.